Okay, looking good. Hello, Austin. Okay, so we got some Power Wash DLC. Should be able to finish that up in the afternoon, unless it's a lot bigger than I'm thinking it is. And then tonight we're going to do watch along stuff, so that should be pretty fun. All right. Yeah, I already did mine, Austin. Okay, so we already did the cruise ship. What do you want to do next?
Gotta get into the game first.
Mhm. Oh, Austin, I voted for Semi Bird. Obviously, he's not going to win the primary, but I wanted to support him in the primary because I like him. He's fun. But obviously, in the general election, it'll be Reichardt. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I wanted to support Semi Bird in the primary because everyone knows the top two is going to be Ferguson and Reichardt. It's not a situation where splitting the vote could lead to like a Democrat running against a Democrat. Mm-hmm. And we don't even really know how high crime is because a lot of crime doesn't even get reported because, you know, when you think about it like that. And RFK is a fucking lunatic, man.
What happened now?
He has admitted that a decade ago he dumped a dead bear cub in Central Park and staged the scene to look like a bicyclist ran over the animal.
Jesus Christ, why would he say that?
Because a video's about to come out exposing him and he wants to jump out in front of it before everyone sees it.
God damn. Anyway, let's just go in order. So if it was Muckingham Files Part 3, I guess that we need to do.
We did Santa's Workshop, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we did Buckingham Palace Part 1, and yeah, we did Part 2. So Part 3, clean the aquarium. I think Dave Rockhart's fine, Austin. Okay, you should be able to join now. Who did I vote for Senate? God, shit, what was his name? Dr. Hold on, let me look this up. His name,
Thugonomics. John Cena.
I think I voted for Bob Hagland. Yeah, I think it was Bob Hagland. Oh, yes, Garcia. He was the guy I voted for, and I voted for Hagland as well. But what is Hagland running for? I forget. All right, so are you in the map?
Just a moment.
Man, this is actually pretty big.
Alright, I'm in here now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wearing the research outfit thing.
Mm-hmm. Right, Lieutenant Governor. Okay, thank you, Austin.
Wow, that map just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice map, man. 400 bucks.
Wow. This is a humongous map, bro. Holy fuck. This was free. That's just really crazy.
How did they make money on this game?
It's a great question.
I guess they just count on people buying it, the base game, because of all the robust DLC, which
Yeah.
is probably the
Like,
case.
follow me real quick and I'll show you.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Like, you got all this stuff. You got it's here in this hallway. Through this hallway. And then you got this room right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then after this room right here, there's an entrance here and a ladder. So you take the ladder up through another hallway, and then you drop down, and then you're inside the exhibit that was
Wow.
separated by glass earlier.
Wow.
This one's fucking massive.
Nice. Okay. So it might not be one stream that we finish this sucker.
Yeah, this definitely not.
Well, I'm not unhappy about it. More content. Video game releases have been garbage this year anyway, so having more to do with a game like this is not a bad thing at all.
Yes.
I know there's some stuff coming out in August, but I don't know how much of it interests me. Like, I think they're remastering or remaking Dead Rising, but I never even played the original Dead Rising, so I don't know how interesting that would be to me. Yeah, Austin, I don't really want to talk about what district I live in.
It's a pretty funny take because Bitcoin lost a lot of price too.
Hmm.
So this guy's like, I think it rules that we invented a decentralized currency uncontrollable by one central entity, and it ended up just perfectly correlating with the American stock market anyway. That's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
that is true. Man, I wonder what futures did yesterday. Like, I wonder if in situations like this, where clearly as soon as the market opens on Monday, it's going to be bad, there's anything the government does to like try to mitigate it desperately in the last couple of days. I wonder if there's like any like weapons they can pull out to like try to prevent the worst of the worst. Because now would be the time to bust that out.
There's one failsafe. They've almost used it a couple of times,
Hmm.
but they enacted this failsafe in response to making sure that the events of the 1929 stock market crash would never happen again,
Hmm.
which is that if the stock market loses above a certain amount in a single day, trading is automatically ceased.
Mm. Yeah, well, if it drops that much to the point where that gets set off, it's already a complete disaster. Like, it's too late at that point.
Yeah, they're just hoping that people, that they're like, if we stop trading, then people won't be knee-jerk panic selling anymore. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, it'll scare them enough to where,
They'll
they,
start jumping off of top tall buildings.
yeah.
Like,
I gotta
that's.
say one thing though, this fucking little stool thing that I was carrying around that I just dropped behind you,
Hmm.
this has got to be like the most useless fucking piece of equipment in the entire game. Because like any map where you have that stool, you also have ladders,
Yeah.
which are way more useful, and that stool is tiny. So like, what the fuck is it even for? It's literally only useful in the first couple of maps where you don't have a ladder, but you need like a tiny little boost anyway that the jump doesn't give you enough of. Like when you first clean the fucking van that you use.
Hmm.
The fact that it appears in every map is just so stupid.
I don't know very much about Ray shit. I'm probably mispronouncing the name, Austin, but I don't know very much. I've seen some pre-polling that indicates it's guaranteed to be Ferguson versus Reichardt, though. All right, let me see here. What comes out later this month? Madden comes out this month, I guess. Black Myth
Wow.
Wukong. Star Wars game comes out at the end of the month, but I don't think it looks very good. Oh wow, there's another Sam and Max game that comes out this month. Wild. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like a great month to me. That's why we play actual good games like Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. It was like 15 9/11s.
I can't even believe that we live in a time period where the same people who did 9/11 used 9/11 as a fucking unit of measurement.
It's like using Jose Altuve as a unit of measurement in baseball. Like Randy Johnson is 1.38 Altuve's tall.
Jesus. It helps me understand Randy Johnson's height a little bit better, though.
Victor Wembayama is 1.67 Altuve's tall.
He's got to be at least 3 Altuve's tall. What the fuck? By the way, I like how retards actually hype themselves into thinking that France's basketball team was going to be relevant. Because oh my god, Wembanyama, oh my god, they're gonna get like the silver or something, and then like France has been dog shit. Like, oops.
Kind of embarrassing that they've been so bad too, because it's not just him. They have Gobert, they have Nicholas Batum, they have Evan Fournier. Like they
Right,
have NBA players, and like South Sudan hasn't been any worse.
right. So you just sit there and you're like, man, you guys listen to that fucking ESPN hype machine way too much. The Olympics right now are just destroying so many fucking ESPN narratives, man. Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Herc is in ruins over how bad Embiid has been in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Because they tried to have the last game be Embiid's game after Bam went off. They're like, this is Embiid's game. So, like, they forced it with him, and he literally just played like shit. Fucking Anthony Edwards didn't go off. We just straight up lost that game to fucking Puerto Rico. Because fucking Embiid couldn't handle Puerto Rico. My God. Plus, if Serbia ends up winning a medal, it's going to be because Jokic literally put that fucking team on his back.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe we're still leaning on 40-year-old LeBron to bail us out. What are we going to do next
Yeah.
year?
And that's just because of how much Steve Kerr sucks ass too, by the way, because he can't understand these lineups. Like he is relying so heavily on people that he's actually coached, and it's hilarious because they're washed. Like it's like, please Curry, please bail us out, and Curry goes like fucking 1 for 9. It's like, dude, read the fucking room. Curry's almost 40. He sucks. He's washed now. He's not relevant. Quit this. Like, my God.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's really funny though, like you said, is that the corpse of LeBron James, who's fucking 40 years old now, is actually more relevant than old Curry, even though Curry's the one who specializes in jump shooting and his game should have aged the best.
Yeah.
He's the guy who should have been able to play till he's 50, and he's the one that can't fucking contribute.
I'm going to go to the other room, by the way. So you finish that room
All
and
right.
go into the hall, and I'll
All
start on
right.
this room here. I think that's probably slightly more efficient than what we were doing. Man, Wheeler is killing us, which is not surprising. We got the 2 games that we needed to win, so you know.
Yeah, for the Dow, it's expected to drop at least 200 points pretty much as soon as the market opens back up tomorrow.
And then after that, it gets spicy.
After that, who knows what the fuck's gonna happen? It's gonna be bad.
Did you see the stuff from Berkshire?
Probably not.
Apparently, they've sold like 50% of their Apple stock, like 200 billion
Oh,
worth.
you meant Warren Buffett's thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that he's been selling like crazy, and if he's selling like crazy, there's literally only one reason for it. Well, technically two, but the one's a lot more likely than the other one. The unlikely one that this could be is that Warren Buffett thinks he's getting ready to fucking croak, so he's just trying to lock in value so that he can leave money behind to his fucking family or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the case. A far more likely option is that Warren Buffett knows damn good and well that the economy is about to fucking face plant and it'll take a hell of a long time to get out of it because the Biden administration is very, very aware of the fact that, oh no, we've completely fucked everything. Trump is actually going to win. There's nothing we can do to stop this. So the only thing we can do is rug pull the entire U.S. economy and then try to dump all this in his lap. Because you already know that's exactly what's going to happen, is that the Federal Reserve is desperately needed to aggressively alter its policy to actually try to help the U.S. economy for long-term gains. They haven't wanted to do that since fucking George W. Bush was in office. So we had 8 years of Obama with their fucking negative interest rates and quantitative easing fucking the U.S. economy to pieces. Then for 4 years of Trump, they tried to fix everything, slowing the economy down as much as they possibly could, even though it didn't really make that much of an impact because the economy was actually just that good. And then this 4 years of Biden, it's been getting out of fucking control with record-breaking inflation. So they're like, okay, so yeah, once Trump's back in office, the recession's going to hit full force because we've been kicking the can down the road specifically to make it a poison pill when and if we lose. And now that we've lost, here comes the rug pull, and then the Fed's going to change a bunch of policies so that things just completely fucking suck ass. So then the media, with its nonstop fucking brainwashing blitz, can say, hey, we told you if you voted for Trump that the economy was going to be bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to suck for a while. So Warren Buffett, knowing that, he's all like, for at least the next 365 days, the economy is probably going to be super fucking dire. So yeah, you just sell everything I've got.
Or maybe Warren Buffett is planning to acquire Wrigley's gum.
Yeah, that's the third option, definitely.
That's funny in that in the episode he says you should just buy more stock, and now he's selling all his stock.
Yeah. He needs a peanut jig of his own. That's what he needs.
Well, when the American public found out that I thought that cloud computing meant it was literally stored in a cloud above our heads, I went on the Jimmy Fallon show and did a little peanut jig.
Yeah, that's. I'm in fucking shock because it's like these are the same people who want to talk to you about the climate. By the way, oh no, we're all gonna die in 15 years if you don't give me a ton of money to fix the climate. Because we have all these new clouds in existence from all this computer data, and it's making too much rain.
Nope.
Jesus
Be right
Christ.
back. No. Man, maybe I should start buying stock. I wonder when would be like the best entry point for buying stocks, assuming that it's about to like shit's about to hit the fan.
If it's about to really, really shit itself, I highly doubt that it's going to recover at any point before Inauguration Day.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the ability to hoard money, then I would do so. And then probably like February,
Mm-hmm.
I'd start buying.
Yeah, that might be the play.
Yeah. Actually, what I'm thinking now is like, I don't know how it's going to work, so I'll have to talk with people. But assuming, of course, that I still have my job with Amazon and that they give you money for your education too. They just like it like 4 to 5 grand every semester.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike a student loan, this is just hey, it's just free money that we just give to you. There's no paying it back because you're our employee. That's the one of the benefits you get.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I could get that plus the student loan, then I could get like 10 grand in November, and then I could start buying stocks, like you're
Mm.
saying.
Yeah. I think I did, Austin. I'd have to go look at what I wrote down because I did write down what I voted for, but I'm
That's what
not
I do.
sure.
Keep about 5 grand for the
Mm.
purposes of actually taking care of myself and everything. And then the other 5 grand that I get, just yeet it all into stocks and Bitcoin.
Right. Obviously, you invest in the stock market, it's a long-term thing. It might double over the course of several years. You wouldn't expect it to just blow up,
Yes.
but yes.
Very much. I wouldn't be like, I'm going to invest in some crazy fucking startup and hope to hit it rich. And no, I'm like, I'm going to put, because I'm in my fucking 30s now. I'm like, it's about time that I actually started thinking about the future.
Hmm.
I mean, I've always been thinking about the future, but I'd rather think about the future with optimism instead of existential dread. So here.
Oh, yeah. Did you finish the movie yet?
Yes, I did actually. I liked when I initially read the synopsis of the movie many years ago when it initially came out, I thought the idea of doing an alternate history take on the Manson family murders was like just some sort of weird revenge fantasy, and it sounded like slop, so I wasn't interested in it. But having actually seen the movie now, I like what they did there.
Yeah. I mean, the Manson family happens very much tangentially to the actual story of the movie.
Yeah. I like how they did a fake out with George, where even though obviously the cult is taking advantage of him,
Hmm.
he's not like a prisoner or anything.
Yeah. He's just some old blind dude who's actually getting a pretty decent deal of things, all things considered.
Yeah, he's got that fat redhead with the feet that Quentin kept showing us for some dumbass reason.
Yeah,
Good God,
that
that
was
entire scene was terrible. Yeah, I'm like, that's probably gonna be the last Quentin Tarantino movie I watch after that. I'm
well,
like,
he's
that
only
was
gonna make one more, and the one more movie he's gonna make has apparently been like postponed indefinitely, so there literally
good,
may not be another one.
excellent. Glad to hear that, 'cause that was pretty bad.
Hmm.
And then learning that the one fucking girl was Uma Thurman's daughter, I was like, oh, that makes this so much worse, dude.
Yeah, the fucking breastfeeding ghost baby woman.
Good God. I didn't even know that was Uma Thurman's daughter. I'm like, this is so much worse now. Oh my God.
Ah, man. Um,
I like the armpits though. That was a more civilized fetish, or more elegant age.
I I like when he went overseas to Italy and made all those spaghetti westerns, and they had like the really racist movie titles.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Hmm. Because that was literally what Clint Eastwood did, right? He went over to Italy and started making spaghetti westerns, right?
Yes, and it worked out great for Clint, but the reverse for for Rick here is that he's on the downswing of his career, and that's what really helped Clint with his career take off.
Hmm. I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in a movie theater with a lot of old people who I think were expecting like an actual retelling of the Manson murders. And they were not ready for what happens in the final scene. They were not fucking ready. They were like, oh, people were like, oh,
Yeah.
freaking out.
Well, it also kind of works because you're very aware of the fact that Leo's character and Brad Pitt's character, while they are people who are clearly changing Hollywood and the universe around them and everything, they're also not real people.
Hmm.
And it's not even like they were based on someone who was real either. They were just brand new characters created for the movie. So I like it in the sense of it being like an alternate universe kind of theory where it's like these guys don't belong and their presence has actually altered the course of events as we
Yeah,
know them in our universe.
absolutely. Yeah.
And I also really liked how you had at the very beginning of the movie, they're going over Leo's career, and what his career is that he's an established guy that is famous to the audience. So even though he's a new guy in the movies and the TV shows that he's there to get his ass kicked to put over the younger talent.
Hmm.
The new guy that the audience doesn't know yet, because he's not kicking the character's name's ass. He's kicking Jake Cahill's ass.
Hmm. He's like the boxer who's supposed to take a dive.
Right, and I said put over because I was using pro wrestling terminology,
Hmm.
where that's the thing is that when you've got a guy who's established, he puts over the younger talent by laying down for them, and then when the younger talent wins, it makes them seem a lot more serious. They get taken more seriously.
Hmm.
But I was bringing this whole thing up because I'm all like, that's what they ended up actually doing with Bruce Lee. Is that Bruce Lee is in the movie for a very short period of time, and he's literally only there for him to get his ass kicked by Cliff.
Hmm.
And unquestionably get his ass kicked by Cliff because even the fucking bystanders who fired Cliff for fighting to protect Bruce is like, he's kicking Bruce's ass. Nobody's kicking Bruce's ass, which was really funny and everything,
Hmm.
but that's what was going on there. Bruce is famous to us, but he
Right.
doesn't mean anything in terms of the movie, in terms of who he is as a person, who he is as a character, who he is as an actor, all this stuff. So he was there to be the guy who gets his ass kicked and puts over the younger talent, the new guy who's for us, Cliff.
Hmm.
And I was like, that's pretty nice because it came right after Leo was explaining to the audience that that was the existence of a character now, just to get his ass kicked to put the younger guys over. And then here comes Bruce Lee, and he was getting thrown into a fucking car so that way you take Brad Pitt seriously.
Hmm.
Because after that, the only other fight that Brad gets into is when he kills the Manson family people. And he did it so brutally and viciously that you wouldn't have taken that seriously if it wasn't for the fact that he hadn't kicked the shit out of Bruce Lee earlier in the movie.
Hmm. Yeah. Also, I don't know if you caught this because it was his first major role, but Tex is played by the guy who plays the guy in Dune, Rahab, the nephew of the floating fat man. I can't remember his fucking name.
Oh, the guy that Sting played in the original,
Yeah.
in the 80s, I believe it's pronounced Fade Routha.
Yes, that's Austin Butler. So that's where he got his start.
Yes, Fade Routha Harkonnen.
Hmm.
You have Conan Animal, played by Austin Butler.
And he also played Elvis in the Elvis biopic they did a couple years ago. He's very good. Cliff's dog was fucking awesome.
I thought it was hilarious that like the one girl, lady, person, whoever the fuck.
Hmm.
Um, very clearly had gotten fucked up by the dog, and she's just like shooting at random because he's been blinded or whatever
Hmm.
in the pool and screaming and all this shit. And Leo's like, "Let me go get the flamethrower to deal with this." It's like you probably could have finished her off with a fucking rock, dude. But like, it's like, "Let me go grab my flamethrower." And oh my god,
Yeah, that has fuel in it for some reason.
for real.
And he has no idea what's going on. Like this woman just fell
Yeah,
into his pool, and his first instinct is, "I'm gonna kill her with a flamethrower."
yeah. He has no idea what the hell's happening. I really thought it was funny how they didn't see it coming when I forgot my knife in the car, and then he's, "Oh, here, take the keys," and then, "Oh, thank you," and then she just drove off,
Yeah,
and that they didn't see that coming. Because
right.
I'm reasonably sure that they're all like obviously high as fuck in order to get the courage to do this kind of thing,
Hmm.
which just made me think of The Sopranos, where there's this famous scene where it's very clearly not going to go right because the guys who are performing this attempted robbery are seriously fucking low IQ jackasses. Like they're
Hmm.
very, very
Hmm.
stupid people.
Hmm.
So it's right before they go in and they have this conversation where they're like, "Are we sure we should do this? Is this really like are we committed to doing this? Is this a good idea?" So they're like, yeah, yeah, fuck it, let's just do this. Then there's this great line they say, let's do it quick before the crank wears off. It's like, oh yeah, this one was destined for success. You can,
Right. Well, those four
uh,
characters who were doing the Manson family killing were existed in real life.
right?
Tex, Flower Child. I can't remember all their names. And the one who ran away in the movie was the one who ultimately ended up confessing the murders after they happened. Like she regretted it. She wished she hadn't done it, and she helped the police bring everyone else to justice over it. So that was kind of like an extrapolation on that she really didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like
But I
real
like it as the idea of like they would have easily been able to have killed fucking Sharon
Sharon
and
Tate.
Jay and everybody else that they killed
Yeah.
in real life if they committed to that. But because Rick, this character, is not supposed to be there, he's not real. He has altered the timeline. He goes out and he fucking yells at him, so then they get the idea, let's kill him instead.
Sorry, I don't know the name of every fascist who was on TV in the 50s. I loved it.
I like when he beat the shit out of that hippie. That was great.
Yeah, that was another person who was based off a real life person in the Manson family. I think he never actually got charged because they ruled that he was basically retarded because he had an IQ of like 60 or something. So they figured he wasn't really fit to stand trial and couldn't really be held fully accountable for what he did.
Yeah, that makes sense. He was a complete burnout.
Hmm. That's the trick the Joker pulls every time he gets arrested. Claims insanity. Because really, when you think about it, you think about Sharon Tate's role in that movie. She does very little.
Yeah, which it goes to show that that was the whole point, was the fake out, because
Hmm.
um literally she's being set up to die like a fucking character in a horror movie,
Hmm.
and then just surprise.
Yeah, because Moogle didn't like the movie very much because he was expecting an actual movie about the Manson family murders, and that's not really what the movie is.
Being said, though, I'm sure a lot of people felt the same way, so that's why the movie is not as well received as
Hmm.
a lot of other Quentin movies.
Right. I think other than Pulp Fiction and maybe Django, it might be my favorite. And I haven't seen Django in forever. I need to rewatch that. Can you do me a favor real quick?
But
Push E and try to change like the extension or nozzle on your power washer because I can't. I can't select anything on the menu that comes up when you press E. It's
I can
huh,
easily. That's weird.
huh, okay. It's not that big of a deal, but I can't add my extension.
That's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe go into your shop and see if you needed to buy them, because
Mm-hmm.
maybe it reset for you for some reason. It'd be weird as hell if that happened, but maybe
I
that's what
can't. Yeah,
happened.
I can't select anything on either of the pause menus. It's just like the
Oh,
window pops up, sits there until I whisk it away, but that's all I can do is whisk it away. I can't select anything there. Weird. Okay, I don't think it'll matter for us, but it's weird.
yeah, that is definitely very
Some
strange.
kind of glitch. Wow, we're already more than halfway done.
Yeah, this actually went by a lot faster than I thought it was going to.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we were definitely cheated in that movie, big time. We deserved to watch the romance between Cliff and Pussycat Blossom.
Yeah. Do you think he killed his wife? They never like came out and outright said it.
When they see that when they show that scene, um, it's very obvious based off of who Cliff is and what his wife was doing that they were both drunk,
Hmm.
and the boat's moving and the waves are going and all this, and he's pointing the fucking, it looked like a spear gun kind of at
Yeah.
her, pointing that at her, and he's got his finger on the trigger. I don't think he intentionally did anything. What I think happened is that they probably stood there for a few more seconds like that, and then like one wave rocked the boat real hard, and then his finger just kind of slipped, and then
So like Pulp Fiction, Marvin.
essentially yes, that's what I think happened. But I have no idea how the fuck he would have gotten acquitted, or they'd have just been like, "There's not enough evidence to say that he did it or not," kind of, because everyone's like, "He got away with killing his wife," and I'm all like, "How? How? How?"
And it was the 50s, right? Forensic evidence is not what it was. It's not what it.
60s and everything, but even if they had that evidence, like if he's got a spear gun with his fingerprints all over it, and he got shot by a fucking spear gun, like that, and so that's what I think is the fake out. Is that fucking like, you know, it probably wasn't a spear gun that killed her, because you're never told what killed her. You just have that
Hmm.
scene right there to make you think, oh, I guess he did do it. And it's all like, well, for all you fucking know, the way that she died is because another wave crashed like that, and then she hits her head on the boat on the way out, which doesn't kill her or anything. But oh, wouldn't you know it? There was actually a shark right next to a boat the whole time. It smells the blood, goes after her. Oops. So then what you end up with instead is, oh no, we went out there and it turns out that my bitch ex-wife that everybody knew I hated, oh, she just had a little accident, went over the side, and oh, shucks, a shark ate her. Oops.
Hmm. I mean, there are definitely elements of the movie that are meant to feel like a fairy tale. Like the title of the movie is telling, right? He's
Yeah.
trying, it's got like one toe in the fantasy world. Like when Bruce Lee gets thrown into the car, like that should have like broken several bones in his body. That should have broken his back. But he just gets right up.
Yeah, because especially with the way the cars were made back then, they didn't have crumple zones like we've got today, with like a lot of the car being like aluminum and plastic. Car was just straight up steel back then. So to dent it like that, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, he would have been at the very least unconscious.
Hmm.
Even if he didn't break anything, that would have knocked him cold.
Oh, also, did you notice that Leo did the passport waifu thing where he goes to Italy and gets a wife?
I I wasn't thinking too hard on that. I thought he would end up marrying because they were like, oh yeah, they definitely turn heads with the Italian paparazzi with him and his lovely co-star whoever, and I thought that's who he would have ended up marrying. But then they're like, oh no, different lady.
Hmm. He was ahead of the curve. American women are bad news.
But I like that late 60s, early 70s hairstyle.
Hmm.
And considering Sharon didn't really do too much in the whole movie, to a lot of people, it may have felt like a huge waste of Margot Robbie. But
Hmm.
the whole fucking reason she was in that movie was just for that disgusting foot scene. So
And
it
because
was
she
literally,
looks like fucking Sharon Tate.
yeah. But you could have lots of different people who look like her to look like her. But it's because Margot Robbie is considered to be the hottest woman in Hollywood at the time,
Hmm.
like when the movie was made. So he was like, "That's what I got to do. I got to get the hot girl to have her feet in my fucking movie." And I'm like, "Dude, Jesus Christ!"
It's
Like,
definitely him at his worst in that regard, and that's me saying
oh
that.
yeah, it was really difficult to make it through that movie because the first half was where all the foot stuff was. Every time that happened, I was like, "Ugh."
Yeah, like I said, this movie is literally me writing that story. Dude, I have a foot
Even I
fetish.
want you to eat a bullet.
Yeah. What was the movie where Tarantino cast himself in it with Selma Hayek doing the stripper thing? That's from Dust Till Dawn, right?
From Dust, yes.
Okay. It's like, bro, the fuck is wrong with you? That should have been a deleted scene. Come on. I understand that you want to do that shit,
Yeah.
but knock it off.
Well, see, what's funny is that Tarantino hadn't made it big yet, and neither had Selma Hayek. That was actually one of the movies that put her on the map in terms of being a sex symbol.
Hmm.
Was because of everything else except for the foot thing. So he was just taking advantage of a disadvantaged Hollywood starlet who was Hispanic and wasn't really getting a whole lot of roles. So he was like, "I've got a role for you." I'm like, "That's some Weinstein shit right there, bro. What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's Adam Sandler on steroids.
Exactly.
Hey, Big Country.
Yes, and you call your movie Uncut Gems despite the fact that all the actors are circumcised.
That's a good one. Probably because I ate some of them worms earlier.
Good Lord, what is happening in there, Aurora Lemony Alice?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, admittedly, I would be embarrassed to go to an event like this anyway, but look at this shit.
Ouch.
You'd reach more people yelling out the window of a moving bus.
Exactly. That is, that is exactly what I was thinking. What's the fastest way to get onto the Santa Monica freeway from here? And don't ever book me again. Don't ever call me. I'm never coming back here. Oh my God. You know what? That I think that was the one thing that was missing from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. If God bless him, if he was still alive when they made this movie, if they just had Funkhauser playing any role at all, that would have just clinched it.
The only movie I've ever seen Funkhauser in is Ocean's 13. He plays Matt Damon's father.
Yeah. was a pretty good one though, because he was constantly like, "Did you just steal that? Well, I didn't steal it. I helped steal it. Did you just help steal that?" Oh yeah. They go over the plan for the heist, and he tells a really gross joke.
And George Clooney thinks it's hilarious.
George Clooney's like, "I had no idea it would be so revolting." Jesus, it's good stuff.
Dude, if Quentin Tarantino ever got to direct a Star Trek movie, could you imagine all the feat stuff he does with the aliens?
Dude, and the alien would appear would literally just be a giant foot. Jesus.
Yeah, it's probably for the
Yeah,
best that that never happened.
yeah, I don't want to watch the Lieutenant Barkley goes into the holodeck scene that Quentin Tarantino directed.
Oh my fucking god.
Engage the safety protocol. That's good stuff.
I know it's pretty depressing, big country. I'm not happy about it. But hey, we took 2 of 3. How mad can you be?
Pretty mad.
Yeah. The amateur film reviewer I used to watch on YouTube once said that, some people are children at heart. Quentin Tarantino is an adolescent at heart, and that's like the worst thing that you can be. Just forever trying to be edgy and weird.
I understand the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
I do disagree though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that the kind of person that Quentin Tarantino is. I think Quentin Tarantino has always just been trying to make movies that are fun for him.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Clerks and the character Randall?
Yeah.
That's who I envision him being, where he's like really into movies and stuff, and he just makes the kinds of movies that he wanted to make. Because that was sort of Quentin Tarantino's, story, where he wanted to make movies and his mom laughed at him and lots of other people laughed at him. He said, "Fuck you, I bet I can make great movies." So he did some low budget stuff and they ended up being really, really good. 'Cause, I mean, you even think back to like my favorite Tarantino movie of all time is Jackie Brown.
Oh, okay.
Because not only does it have Robert Forster in the role, who I fucking loved, but it's probably the least Tarantino-like Tarantino movie. And it's not because I hate his style or anything, but it's precisely the kind of, like they were talking about him being an adolescent at heart, that sort of thing. The kinds of movies that he wanted to make. It's got a lot less of the self-indulgence in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more about he's trying to make a really good movie because that's what he wanted for people. There's no foot stuff in Jackie Brown. There's no foot stuff in Reservoir Dogs. There's barely any, but there is some foot stuff in Pulp Fiction. But once he had that real mainstream success and everything, now he's like, finally, I can make the movies that I want to make for me. And he still made very popular, very successful movies. It was a lot of the stuff after Pulp Fiction he made that's some of his most successful and most fondly remembered. Inglorious Bastards, Kill Bill 1 and 2,
Django.
Django, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't hate on him for that. But that's the thing, is he just wanted to make movies for him. Movies that he wanted for him that were fun for him, which is fine. I'm not going to hate on him for that because he bet on himself and he won. Good for him. But I don't view him as being an adolescent at heart. I just view him as being a guy who knows what he likes and he just wanted to have fun with it. And he didn't want to succeed so that he could become super rich, although, of course, when he first started out, it was a job for him because, duh, everyone has to fucking work to live.
Mm-hmm.
But once he got to the point where he didn't need to worry about that money anymore, he just wanted to have fun. and that's what's fun for him. And I'm not going to hate on him for what he enjoys. I'm just going to hate him for going way too far with it when I was not wanting to see all that kind of stuff.
Uh,
That's really all I ever have to complain about is just like sometimes the writing's like not up to snuff where I want it to
mhm.
be, like with Inglorious Bastards. Sometimes it's way too overindulgent, like with Inglorious Bastards, and any scene with the foot stuff. But
Didn't he
it's not.
do Natural Born Killers?
There's a number of movies that he didn't straight up do, like they weren't his movie, but he was a part of, and that might have been one of them. Another one that he was a part of that wasn't his movie, but he worked on, it was a collab with Robert Rodriguez with Grindhouse.
Oh yeah,
And
Grindhouse.
Robert Rodriguez's one was way better when they did Planet Terror, which was a zombie movie.
Mm-hmm.
Quentin Tarantino's movie was Death Proof, where Kurt Russell it was essentially a slasher film,
Mm-hmm.
but Kurt Russell was a stuntman car driver, and he used his stunt car to run over women.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the premise for the movie. It's like that that's not really the best thing I've ever heard at all, you know?
Yeah, that's not a movie. The fuck?
Yeah, it was definitely the weaker of the two in Grindhouse.
Didn't Planet Terror have that was Michael Madsen in it? I'm trying to remember that one.
There were a lot of people in that movie, actually. But hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Oh yeah, and then probably his least remembered movie, which is really funny because it didn't come out that long ago. It was only 9 years ago. Was The Hateful Eight.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even see that one,
It was
and
okay.
this, yeah, definitely probably the weakest in his whole filmography because I never saw because I never have anybody fucking talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it was one of the last movies that the Weinstein Company actually helped produce and distribute before Me Too.
Mm. I do like how almost every Tarantino movie revives a dead star's career. Like Kill Bill revived David Carradine's career, Hateful Eight revived Kurt Russell's career, Pulp Fiction revived John Travolta's career. I do like that.
Yeah, the films that he made that these were Quentin Tarantino's movies was just Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill 1 and 2, Death Proof, Inglorious Bastards, Django, Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time.
Mm, okay.
However, he participated in other stuff. Um, he was a writer and or producer for Past Midnight, Iron Monkey, True Romance, Natural Born Killers, It's Pat, Crimson Tide, From Dusk Till Dawn, The Rock, and Planet Terror.
The Rock. That's the Nick Cage movie, right?
Yeah, Nick Cage, Sean Connery, Ed
Wow.
Harris.
Okay, I didn't know he was on that. Wacky.
And for whatever reason, he's close friends with that absolute fucking piece of shit, Eli Roth.
Oh yeah.
So he's helped a lot on his stuff. He was an executive producer for Hostiles 1 and 2.
Has Eli Roth ever made like an actually good movie? Like
No.
I don't think Hostel is like good. I think maybe it accomplishes exactly what you're trying to accomplish, but it's not good.
Yeah, he his first movie was Cabin Fever, which was kind of well received as a horror film, and then he did Hostel 1 and 2, then he did Aftershock, The Green Inferno, Knock Knock, a remake of Cabin Fever. Blech.
Yeah, like at some point doesn't he actually do a
Imagine
good movie?
imagine remaking your own fucking movie. What the hell?
That is weird. Never really thought about that before.
The Death Wish with Bruce Willis doing that one.
Oh, that was okay. That was okay.
He was the director for that one. Didn't write anything there. That's probably why it was better. Because it was one of the few movies that he was directing that he didn't write, and that's the thing
Hmm.
is he's really bad as a writer. However, he's the director, writer, and producer of the upcoming Borderlands movie featuring Jack Black as the voice of Claptrap. So that's going to be a fucking catastrophe.
Yeah, although that's going to be a catastrophe regardless of Eli Roth's involvement. Like, good lord.
No, I agree, but yeah, just super trash as a person, as a creator. He's black.
Yeah, in the Death Wish movie with Bruce Willis, I saw it with my dad when it came out. And this part made my dad laugh really hard. So, shortly after his wife gets killed and his daughter gets put in a coma, he's thinking about buying a gun. And he's very much planning to use it to go take revenge. So he goes to the gun store and, they're like, oh, you're going to have to get registered as a gun owner and da 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 da. And he's like, I don't really, he doesn't want to get a registered gun because he's planning on actually using it, right? And he knows that, it'll get traced back to him. So he doesn't buy a gun. And he works as a surgeon in Chicago. I don't know if that's from the original Death Wish or not, but that's his job. He's a surgeon in Chicago. And like the next day, he's performing surgery on somebody who was a shooting victim. And when they're lifting him from the gurney to the operating table, the dude's gun falls out of his pocket and lands right next to Bruce Willis, and nobody else sees it, so he just kicks it under the table and comes back and gets it later. And I thought that was really fucking funny. It's like he's just like, I don't need to buy a gun. These things grow on trees here. I live in Chicago.
That was the funny thing. The original Death Wish taking place in the fucking late '70s.
Hmm.
That was absolutely true. It's like these fucking things were growing on trees, damn near. Like I don't need to. But it was later on in the series when he became very, very serious about being a professional vigilante that he started getting into contact with gun runners so that he could get specialized equipment.
Hmm. Well, by the end of that movie, his whole house was basically like it was like JD Vance's grandma's house, basically. He had guns hidden everywhere, so no matter where he was, he could just pull out like a fucking M16 and just go off on house invaders. And somehow he did that without ever buying a gun. So I don't know if you've seen this, but one of the news items over the last few days is that Jimmy Carter is desperately trying to live until October
Yes,
15th.
I've seen it.
Yeah. My thing is like, he doesn't have to be alive to vote for Kamala Harris. Like,
Yes, a lot of people have been making that same joke. I completely agree. It's very funny. Um,
mhm. Like,
and what I think he's really doing is he's like, I want to try to last long enough to see more presidents who end up being worse than me. Because like Jimmy Carter was not the absolute worst president of all time, even before we had, a lot of the ones we've had recently.
mhm.
But he was bad. He was definitely top five worst. Um, really, really not good. And Obama was worse. Biden has been worse. And if Harris actually wins, you can, without a doubt, say that she was worse. However, I Personally, I believe she will lose, but after the election, Biden will step down anyway as one last middle finger to Hillary Clinton to make sure that Kamala still gets to be Madam President for a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Just so that they can all fucking jack each other off over first wham and president. Um, that's what I personally envision happening.
Mm-hmm.
However, unless he literally started World War III while he was in office, there's no way you can end up being worse than those guys that caused generations worth of damage by being president for 2 months.
Yeah, especially during lame duck period where I'm pretty sure you
Right.
can't really do much of anything.
Yeah, it's because anytime you'd want to do anything, Congress would just be like, well, literally the only thing we have to do is just not let it happen. You know, we just stall and then
Mm-hmm.
wait for the next guy.
Yeah, that's what the Democrats in Congress are in the Senate tried to do with the Supreme Court nomination process with ACB, but um, Ginsburg had died just early enough to where they could not stall long enough,
Yeah, it was
just
perfect.
barely.
You'd love to see it.
And I remember like senators were even admitting like, yeah, we can delay it to very close to the election, but we can't actually delay it far enough. And it's like, then why even try? Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? What the fuck?
Yeah, just out of spite. Well,
Hmm. You know, I've never seen Jackie Brown. I should do something about that at some point.
it's actually really good.
Yeah, I did not like Reservoir Dogs very much.
Yeah, and I can't blame anybody for not liking Reservoir Dogs because literally the entire movie is just talking.
Yeah, I like the last
And
third.
there's a very interesting story that is happening that you never get to see. I believe the movie would have been much more well received had the robbery actually been shown, even if in tiny little clips. Like we got to see tiny little clips of the escape,
Hmm.
but if we got to see tiny little clips of the robbery, that would have been nice too. And you know that if Tarantino had made the movie later in his career, he would have, and that the reason he didn't in this one is because he just didn't have the budget.
Right.
So yeah, it sucks, but you know,
Yeah. Like, I know originally he was planning to have all the characters walk out of the diner with Pink Floyd's Money playing, Money by Pink Floyd,
yeah,
but they couldn't afford Money, the Pink Floyd song, so they got Little Green Bag instead, which I think worked out better anyway, but like that's what you do when you're working on a budget. I always really find stories like that interesting. The idea of like art through adversity, like using a very low budget and trying to make something and then it ends up working out really well. Like my favorite film documentary making of ever is the first Terminator because they had no money. They were basically like college students trying to make a movie for $20. It was crazy the stuff they had to do.
that's very impressive what they managed to achieve then.
Yeah. Like, you know that scene where Kyle Reese is getting zipped up in the body bag
Yeah.
after he dies? Like they couldn't afford a body bag, so James Cameron just got his gym bag out and like cut the bottom out so they could put half of his body into it. And then they could do the zipping up and it would look like a body bag. They couldn't afford a filming license for that final day of shooting in the desert, you know, the epilogue
Hmm.
where she's driving into the mountains. So they just had to film with no license. And then a cop came and showed up and they like freaked out because they were going to get arrested. So James Cameron had to pretend that he was like helping his son do a college project. by
Wow.
doing filming in the desert, and the cop bought it. Just stuff like that. I think that's really, really cool. When they filmed the miniature 18-wheeler exploding, when the Terminator's driving it and he puts the
Yeah.
pipe bomb in the tailpipe. Yeah, they only had one of those, and they were like, yeah, if we blow this shot, like, there's no backup plan here. We're going to have to come up with a whole different finale. So we better get this shot right. And they did, but that's how close things were.
Oh. Well, if all that's going on, then that definitely explains why they got Arnold to do it instead of the story everybody tells that they wanted to get OJ to do it. They couldn't
Hmm.
afford OJ.
Yeah. And we just obliterate North Korea. I don't know. Have you seen our military lately? Like, I still think about that clip of that woman who's in the army taking a trash bag out to the curb, and she flips it over her shoulder, and it makes her basically do a 360 in the air because the weight of the garbage bag is so much. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Watching the unfolding of the Ukraine war should tell you that the United States is absolutely not ready for warfare in the modern era against anything other than like a goat fucker insurgency.
Hmm.
Because man, we are not prepared for that kind of
Hmm.
shit.
Yeah, and if we went to war, the economy would crash because all the gay bars would suddenly have no business.
Exactly, bro. And the gay bar economy is a bedrock of the Jesus. My extension works.
Oh, wow, David, that'd be significant.
Wow. Rob Zombie's a fucking lunatic. That's hilarious.
In what way?
Well, in a lot of ways. But I'm reading about the fake trailers that they did in Grindhouse right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Rob Zombie came up to Robert Rodriguez at the Scream Awards and said, I have an idea for a fake trailer for your Grindhouse movie, Werewolf Women of the SS. Rodriguez says, say no more, you got me, go shoot it. So Rob Zombie in 2 days got enough footage for a half-hour short film and was pissed that he had to edit it down to fucking minutes because he thought he'd be able to like add it to the movie. Just like here's just like an extra half-hour Werewolf Women of the SS. So like, no, dude, we're just doing the trailer. So he's like, fuck, all right, I guess I'll cut it down to 2 minutes.
Well, I
And that
mean,
was the one where the villain was Fu Manchu, played by Nicolas Cage.
mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
Like, Rob Zombie's a fucking lunatic. That's hilarious.
yeah. Rob Zombie
In
walked
two
out
days.
walked out of one movie in his life.
What movie was it?
Audition. He couldn't
Which
take.
one was that?
That was the Takashi Mike movie about this guy who's I think his wife dies, and his son sets up a bunch of auditions with women for him to remarry. Basically, they treat it like they're pretending like it's a job, and whoever gets the part, he'll propose marriage to. And he ends up falling for this woman who ends up being this really, really fucked up serial killer. It's pretty bad. And by bad, I mean like fucked up. I'm not saying it's actually a bad movie or anything like that.
Oh, Google it now.
Hmm. Yeah, I knew a kid in college who loved horror movies, but he walked out of The Hills Have Eyes 2 after 10 minutes. It was too much. Because in the first 10 minutes, this woman gets kidnapped by aliens, and then they rape her to impregnate her, and then they immediately give her an abortion. And he's like, okay, that's enough. That was too much. Are we going to have Julio back by then? Are we going to have JP back by then? Like, what are we talking about in terms of our lineup? I know Canzone's about to come back, and Canzone is probably better than Vossler.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Because one of the things is that one of our strongest and most long-lasting allies that we've had as a nation has actually been the United Kingdom. So imagine if we go in there with Israel and then we get tied up in this fucking war against Iran. We'd be relying heavily on the UK to join us, and you know that they would because they're also in Israel's pocket and all that kind of shit. But
Hmm.
like, they're on the brink of fucking collapse as it is. You know, their military is absolutely cooked because they've had like they have had pretty much since the Royal Air Force was founded. There's been a fighter wing called the Crusaders, and they have a long and storied military history in both world wars and during the Falklands War. And let me tell you something. They had to rename themselves last year because there are too many Muslims in the British Armed Forces now, and it was considered highly offensive.
E.
It's just as cooked as it gets, man. Like,
Yeah. I know the uh I know the White Sox got crushed again today, so they're still well on pace.
got it.
Beautiful.
Just got an achievement for that. Complete a bonus job. What? I've completed bonus jobs before. What the fuck? That has to be a new achievement, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Yeah, I
Oh,
can't.
I didn't even know that the clam opened. That's pretty cool.
Okay, I can't select anything on the tablet, so I'm gonna have to close the game and reopen it.
That makes
But
sense.
it shouldn't matter. We finished the job, so.
Yeah. Yeah, there should be enough time before you gotta go to dinner for us to do one more. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even know what's going on for dinner actually right now, so for all I know, I'm going to be picking something up. We'll see. Ugh. Excuse me. All right, clean the submarine. This should actually be pretty quick. Okay. You should be able to come in.
Just a moment. Named hams.
You may have already seen this, but this out. This is the word cloud for Kamala Harris when various people are asked about her. The bigger the word, the more it came up in their testing.
But like how literally everybody who's not died in the wool fucking completely batshit insane leftist correctly recognizes her as incompetent.
Yeah, look at the independent bubble. They have Trump right next to incompetent. Like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, is it because Biden accidentally said Vice President Trump during one of his speeches?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, this is just a submarine. This shouldn't be that bad. Oh, you mean you don't take your coffee with maple syrup?
Oh, it's not the Ocean's Gate submarine. That makes this even funnier.
Oh, dude, that would be an amazing idea.
That'd be a Vistar map. Can you clean out the inside of this? Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. I am cleaning the robotic arm grippers.
Oh God.
Yeah, when I was talking to you about it as I was watching a movie, Margot Robbie's feet were so dirty and disgusting when she was in the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a man's feet.
Yeah, it was not great. It was not his finest moment. It
So
was
like I
bad.
even fucking said it. I was like, I didn't fucking pay for a Hulu subscription so that I could watch some guy's feet, but it was actually Margot Robbie's feet. I'm like, oh, it's even worse.
Yeah. If somebody came back from the future and told me the White Sox don't make it to 30 wins this year, I think I might believe them. I might be like, yeah, I'm a little surprised, but I'm not shocked.
That actually makes me curious. I want to check something. Chicago White Sox season over under win. Now, before the season started, everybody felt that they were going to be a bad team, but the
Mm-hmm.
over under was extremely favorable for my fucking back. Anyway, looks like at the start of the season, the over under for the White Sox was 61.5.
I think they
They
could
were
win out and
expected to
not
be a
get
bad
there.
team. They were expected to be a bad team, but that's got to be like the easiest bet of your life right now
Mm-hmm.
if you took the under on that one. Wow. This one's pretty brutal too. The over under for the Marlins was 78.5.
And now I think 80% of their team from last year that made the playoffs is,
Gone.
yeah.
Yeah, brutal. Yeah. So yeah, before the season started, the White Sox were expected to be the worst team in baseball, but no one thought they'd be this bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, you wouldn't be surprised if they finished the season and don't even hit 30 wins.
Yeah, it would take a pretty big hot streak for them to not be the worst team of all time by record.
Yeah. So that over under being 61.5, like holy shit.
That'd be crazy if they couldn't even get to the halfway, because half would be
Yeah.
what, basically 31. Like if they can't get to 31, they didn't even get halfway there.
Yeah.
Thick, fragrant bush.
Exactly. Oh, we've been on this map before.
Yeah, but we were cleaning a boat, right?
Yeah, we were cleaning something different, but this map is this is just the map where they bring in boats for you to clean, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the cruise ship, we clean that in a different map.
So, if you had to guess, how long is it going to be before you see your sister again, you think? Do you think it'll be like a year?
It's really difficult for me to say because when she moved a few towns away from me, it was like a 15-minute car drive. She basically ghosted me. Like I was trying like hell to have a relationship with her still, but it was really difficult to reach her. And she basically disappeared from my life. And that's when she was close. Like she was just 15 minutes away. She now, I live in California. And she's going to Georgia. Aside from the fact she's on the other side of the country, aside from the fact that she's been wanting to go to medical school for a long time, like she graduated with her bachelor's 8 years ago, bro.
Hmm.
And for 8 years, she's been trying to get into medical school. She finally fucking did. So now she wants to, move on from here, finish medical school, become a psychiatrist. And in the process, she's moving in with her boyfriend, and she's made a lot of sacrifices to be with that guy. She wants to marry him. So, like, this
Hmm.
is her basically, hey, it's the first day of the rest of your life. This is all the stuff that you wanted. So she gets to have that now, and I'm like, so aside from the fact that she's really, starting her life and, making her dreams come true and all the goals that she set for herself that she's been trying to get for years, and she finally got there. Plus, she's on the other side of the country. I don't really expect to hear from her regularly. I may get one or two text messages from her a year. Um, Unless I go out to Georgia specifically, I may never see her again. Because that's just,
Yeah.
how she is. She just doesn't want to. She views family very differently than a lot of other people do. So,
Hmm.
whatever, that's fine. But oh yeah, this one's gonna be done real quick.
Hmm.
Yeah, I really wish that they would make a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 2, a sequel to that one.
Hmm.
I just want to watch Brad Pitt's character just beat the shit out of hippies for 2.5 hours. Um, that's all I really want. Like that was great.
Can I
Just
at
more of
least
that.
can I wipe my face off first?
No.
Fucking love that.
I like how it's treated as like this threatening situation if Tex comes back in time to confront Cliff, but it's like, dude, Cliff would have killed fucking everybody. Like, you
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't know if Hollywood has ever done like a serious Manson family film. Like that is something that could be done at some point for sure, I feel like. That seems like something they're afraid of touching. I mean, Manson's dead now anyway. It's like there's nothing stopping
Yeah.
you from doing it.
Hey, here's this one. Do you think the Mariners will finish over or under on the season projection before the season started? 87.5.
I probably would have picked the over, and I think they are going to get to the over, but that's a very good one. That's very close.
Real question is 88 wins at least 54%?
I think it's a little under 54.
Oh no, they're missing the playoffs.
The division's
That
so
coach is
bad, I think 88 gets them there, honestly.
that, that guy is so fucking fired.
Yeah, but that's because he thought it was Monday and it was actually Tuesday.
Exactly. for a guy who worked the night shift. It was 12:01.
Oh, it is actually exactly 54%. It's 54.3. Okay.
How about that?
Everyone's saved.
Okay, so he's not fired.
Hmm.
Wait, did they actually just make the over under 54% of the game? That's pretty fucking good. That's how the odds makers figure that one out.
We won 88 games last year, by the way, so they set the over
Okay.
under at the exact point that they fucking.
Well, I mean, if the coaching staff tells you that that's what they're fucking shooting for every year.
Hmm. Hmm.
There was never been like a real serious big movie about the Manson family.
Hmm.
There was like an actual movie. They've
Hmm.
done a lot of documentaries,
Right.
but the closest thing to being like an actual movie was this movie that came out in 2019 called Charlie Says.
Hmm.
The guy who plays Charlie, he looks really familiar. Let me see here. Biographical drama about Leslie Van Houten's life in the Manson family, and Carlene faced work to deprogram her. Oh, that sucks. It's not actually about.
Hmm.
Well,
See, instead of making fucking Gladiator 2 or whatever, they should make movies about stuff like that, Jonestown, the fall of Constantinople. These things never get Hollywood treatments.
yeah. But anyway, the guy, that's why he was familiar. The guy that played Charlie Manson in that movie is Matt Smith, who's uh, the British actor guy who's been in a lot of stuff.
Isn't he
Famously was,
Doctor Who?
yeah, he was one of the Doctor Who's. There was a show about essentially the life of Queen Elizabeth when she was queen, where when they were doing their younger years, Matt Smith played um, the Duke of Edinburgh, the
Hmm.
Prince Consort, her husband.
Hmm.
Can't quite remember his name, but he was based. He was very, very based.
Man. I don't even think Pedro Pascal is a bad actor, but I really, really don't like him being cast as Mr. Fantastic. That
I don't like
seems
him being in fucking everything ever. And I agree with you about that. I'm like, they actually did a really like I like the casting of the guy that played him in the Doctor Strange movie.
yeah, Krasinski.
Yeah, why can't we have him?
Yeah, what was wrong with that?
What I'm interested in seeing is that if they can like this is probably the sixth Hollywood iteration of the Fantastic Four in the last 20 years. I want to see if they get it right this time.
It should not be that hard. Like, just watch The Incredibles a couple times.
True.
Chris Evans is actually in Deadpool 3, but he's playing his Human Torch role, Johnny. I can't remember his last name. Johnny Storm.
Yeah, the name is Johnny Storm. He's the Human Torch.
Hmm.
The reason that's relevant is because Chris Evans was the Human Torch in the Jessica Alba
Yeah, right.
Fantastic Four that they did long fucking time ago.
Yeah, it was basically a bunch of. They had a bunch of cameos from failed superhero movies. Like Jennifer Gardner was there playing Elektra.
Pretty funny.
Um, Channing Tatum was playing Gambit, which his movie never got made, but same idea. Wesley Snipes actually cameoed playing Blade.
Oh, I didn't know he was out of prison. Apparently, the submarine belongs to the Crab Bay Aquarium that we were just cleaning.
Hmm.
If I understand this correctly, they used the submarine to kidnap poor innocent sea creatures to then stuff them into cages at the aquarium.
Mm. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Exactly. It's honest work. Very based.
Dirty Jobs, one of the best. I never watched Dirty Jobs. That was the Mike Rowe show, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Hmm. Did they have the job of the guy whose job it was to clean up Ted Nugent's diarrhea that he did right outside the draft
Close.
office for Vietnam?
Yes.
Because that's a pretty dirty job. strip club pole cleaner. I mean, it's at least pretty easy to clean, right? You just need to get like a Lysol wipe and fucking.
Hose it down. Exactly.
Hmm.
Damn it. Gotta be like an actual ladder thing around here somewhere. There usually always is. Not that I can find. Shit.
Um, okay, 5% left.
Yeah, the stuff that's left is really difficult to get, especially if we don't have actual ladders.
Hmm. It's Tuesday. You're fired. Oh my god. Oh. Very nice. We did it. And we did it without a ladder. So that's both the jobs in Muckingham 3. Muckingham 4 has 2. So there are 5 total new maps.
Yeah.
All right. So I need to step away real quick. I need to use the facilities and I need to take painkillers.
Bro.
Be right back. Okay. We are back. Oh, Quandre Diggs signed. Good for him. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I've joined the new map. It implied that it was going to kick you, so you may have to rejoin. I don't know. Nathan Nathan Peterman is the lowest ranked player in Madden 25. 49 overall. Two is disappointed. Do we have money for someone other than Connor Williams? I mean, Are you saying if we sign Connor Williams, do we have any money left after that? I wouldn't think so. Hmm. It depends on what Connor Williams signs for, but apparently he wants a pretty decent amount. Oh man, we can't go to the other houses. You can only go to this one house. So this map is called Modern Mansion. In what universe is this a mansion? Like, even once it's clean, this is not a mansion. It's a two-story piece of shit. I'm not going to start until Snacks gets here, by the way, just in case anyone's wondering. But yeah, we're surveying. I don't think this is going to take that long. Yeah, I don't think we have to go inside or anything, so this shouldn't take too long. Yeah, I made a video outlining salary cap stuff earlier today, Big Country. You can go check it out if you want to kind of get an idea of where things sit.
Nice. Or are you in this map?
Yeah, I'm right here.
You see how bright it is? Like
Compared to the last map, yeah.
stand where I am on the sidewalk here and look at your fucking power washer without a skin on. It's like bright white. Oh my fucking god, it hurts my eyes.
Mm-hmm. So the name of this map is like Modern Mansion, I think. This is not a fucking mansion. This is like a two-story piece of shit.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty standard Mick mansion
Mhm.
where They call it a mansion because you spend like 7 figures to buy this hunk of shit. I built a ton of these things in my life.
Who the hell would fall for this being a mansion? Like, this is a goddamn normal suburban house that just looks weird.
Trust me, bro. If this was in fucking Orange County, this thing would cost at least 3 million,
Mm.
and then you'd call it a mansion because of how much you spent on it.
But like, look at the houses to the left and right in the neighborhood. They're bigger than this, I think, clearly. You could fit two of them in
Yeah,
there.
and the houses to the left and right are pretty standard suburban fare.
Hmm.
But hell, I'd even call those fucking McMansions.
Hmm.
Some of these, like that house over there, that's 3 stories. If they modeled cars being in the driveway that you could actually like walk up to and see better, that was a realistic depiction, they'd probably have like fucking
Hmm.
Porsches, Mercedes, fucking Rolls Royces. But I agree with you. It's not the kind of thing that I envisioned as being a mansion when I was a kid, but just like it says, it's a modern mansion. This is a
Hmm. Like, I thought we'd be cleaning like LeBron's house or something.
oh no,
That would take all fucking day, but
yeah. Plus, it'd never be clean in the first place.
oh yeah, so I think it was last week they were showing a trailer for the new Futurama season, and they're doing an episode about NFTs. Like, NFTs were a thing 3 years ago, and now they think that's like a topical subject to make fun of. How did that show go so wrong?
It's basically just become Reddit the show.
Hmm.
'Cause that's who their audience is. But I'm with you. NFTs haven't been relevant in a long time. I have no idea why the fuck you'd make an episode about it.
Yeah. Like, imagine if fucking Smiling Friends does season 3 next year and they make an NFT episode. It's gonna be like, what the hell?
Maybe it's all like a meta irony joke that
Hmm.
the show about the future is actually stuck in the past.
True. I think like a year after COVID was basically dead, they did a like COVID episode. Like, imagine if I was making videos now about how the Seattle Seahawks traded Russell Wilson.
That might work if you like dressed up in a slowpoke outfit. Actually, that's a great idea for the next April Fool's Day.
Hmm.
Check.
Where the hell would I get a slowpoke outfit?
Off of Amazon. They sell a slowpoke pajama onesie for not a lot.
Yeah, okay.
You just wear like a slowpoke hat. That's another thing you could do. Yeah, the pajama onesie is $90, so I highly doubt you're gonna want that one. But the slowpoke hat helmet looking thing is $26.99. I'll DM you right now. Yeah, just wear that thing and be like, "Oh my God, guys! Breaking news: Russell Wilson has just been traded to the Denver Broncos."
That's pretty good.
Have you guys heard about this? Oh my God! And then you got to sit there and just be like, "But I tell you one thing. I don't know what Coach Pete's going to do about in reaction to this, but I hope he coaches for us for a long time." Yeah, this year the April Fool's joke was the Masato video, right?
No, it was the video where it was hire Pete Carroll.
Oh, right, right.
Oh, did you see the short I posted a few days ago, by the way?
No, I haven't gotten that in my feed, so I didn't know.
Yeah, it was
I'll check it out now.
ranking every Seahawks trade under Carroll and Schneider with memes.
Oh, I got a good one for you right here. I can't, because I'm not a Seahawks fan, I can't think off the top of my head
Hmm.
of any trades that the Seahawks have had where they just got like bent over and raped,
Hmm.
like fucking Billy King style. But you'd use that meme right there if they just get fucked on a trade. It says right here, diagnosis, fractured ass. I like that. That's a shame meme. Wow. For a fourth and fifth rounder, they got Marshawn Lynch out of that. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, the Bills basically gave up on him. He was facing some minor legal issues and they just wanted him out.
All right. So the fractured ass meme doesn't technically fit there because, like you said, they just wanted to get rid of him.
Hmm.
But still, hell of a fucking return.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
The fucking last. That's good.
It was literally the only trade the Seahawks have ever made that was like, check the news, doesn't matter what channel, because it was such a big trade. Everyone was
Oh
immediately
man.
talking about it.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
I could have done the future sensational meme, but Dude, check the news. Doesn't matter what channel.
That's just good stuff. Oh, that's a perfect idea. If you do that kind of thing again, and it's a trade like you really didn't like,
Mm-hmm.
you could have Alan be like, "I don't really want this."
It's a good one. I thought about doing the none of you are leaving until we solve this one, but I thought it was a little too unclear what the meaning was for like the Jamal Adams trade because it'd be like, we're trying to figure out who approved this trade because the trade was so terrible. But I thought it would
Yeah.
be a little too unclear what I was trying to get across.
If one really pisses you off, then you could go with when the boss was like, and if not, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. Nah, but for real, I won't do anything. Maybe I will. Whatever I do now is uncle.
I got 10 G's, says Jimble's gonna win. Yeah, Austin, I'm still on.
Oh no, with the clock running down on draft day, they made a terrible trade. Time's up, plus you're wrong.
Why are you so evil?
You have 1 second to respond.
Hello, I'm Mr. Frog and I approve this message. No, I don't. I hate you. Fuck you.
Considering the director of the Secret Service resigned over it, it's actually kind of astonishing the lack of information we have about the investigation
Mm-hmm.
into the assassination attempt. Because again, that failure was so catastrophic that the fucking director of the Secret Service resigned.
Right.
So citizen journalism is doing a hell of a lot more for us than we have available right now from official sources. But I'm just sitting here like, if they're actually going to have the director of the Secret Service resign, you'd figure they'd come out with fucking something by now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we know why they haven't, is because the CEO of Gab on Twitter, Andrew Torba,
Mm-hmm.
has been keeping us in the loop the whole time. What the FBI wanted to do was continue to paint the crook as being a right winger because they scrubbed his online presence for
Mm-hmm.
everything except for a Gab account. So they sent an official inquiry to Torba demanding access to the whole thing because they're like, because we think that this is, blah blah blah. So what they were going to do is they were going to delete his post, but then they were going to be like, look, he had an account on Gab, the far right, whatever it is. We told you he was far right. He was a far right extremist. So Torba being like, oh, well, if the FBI is telling me that that was his account, then let me just leak what he actually had fucking posted on that account. And, like, all of it is pro Biden stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why they haven't released more about it, is because they had their narrative ready, and then Torba took the wind out of their sails. So like, well, fuck it. It's clear as fucking day what actually happened there is we radicalized some kid that we MK Ultra'd, and then he tried to take a shot at Trump and failed. He's dead now, and yeah, that's it. We can't make this work for us, so we're just gonna stop talking about it. So yeah, thank God for the people releasing that shit. You know, the camera phone footage that they had from inside the crowd, where you could just see the fucking kid running across the rooftop. And it's all like, they were telling us that he fucking army crawled along the rooftops. They couldn't even see him because of the slope of the roof. And the kid was fucking running along the rooftop with a fucking rifle and a rangefinder. And nobody thought that was weird? Jesus Christ.
Historical levels of incompetence.
And that's the best case scenario. It's like the only thing that you can think of that doesn't explain it as being malice is that these are the most incompetent people who have ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's not that they're the most incompetent people who ever lived, then it was malice. In which case, that's I want them to be the most incompetent people who ever lived. Oh shit. I haven't seen this John Boy video, but I definitely want to, because this is my favorite thing in baseball. Bench is clear after Yankees pitcher hits Orioles batter in head.
Mm. I heard about this. I haven't seen it yet, though.
Awesome. Apparently happened 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the part I don't understand. Why does it take so long? Like Julio, same thing, right? Like Julio couldn't hit anything, and then he makes adjustments and he's hitting well again, and it's like, why did it take so long for the adjustments?
I think baseball is one of those things where it's simple in concept, but very difficult in execution, even for the
Mhm.
pros. And that even the slightest things can fuck everything up. So when you just have incompetent management, um, it can really screw with you.
Mhm. Oh, Djokovic won gold. Good for him. And he didn't even need a vaccine to do it. I still love every couple weeks when somebody on my X feed posts the clip on of the Colbert Show, the vaccine with all the guys dressed up as like vaccine needles dancing on stage with Colbert.
Yeah.
It's so fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, for real.
One of the worst things ever made by a human. Oh, also, I asked this the other day, but you were AFK when I asked it, and then I forgot to re-ask it when you came back. What was the name of that Star Wars EU author who really liked Mandalorians and kept doing stupid shit with them?
Fuck. I'll never be able to forget that bitch. I hate her guts. Karen Travis.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
It's really easy to remember her name because her books are a travesty. Yeah, she's fucking poison, bro. Like she total fucking slop
Hmm.
writer. Like my god, it's pure shit.
I know some people kind of blame her for Disney buying Star Wars and destroying the EU because, like, she had gotten it to the point where it kind of needed to get destroyed.
Yeah, they had been losing money for a very long time because what they were doing is the same thing that comic books were doing, which is they had stopped writing like actual good individual stories, and instead what they were focused on was doing massive, world-changing, constant, non-stop crises. And oh, it's so big and huge, and oh my god, it's so massive, all this stuff that's happening. Oh my god, it's so intense. Like you gotta give people a chance to breathe. But when they do those huge series like that, Karen Travis would write like half the books in the series, and they were so fucking bad. So like they were just losing money out their ass.
Hmm. And she loved the Mandalorians for some reason. I remember
Yeah, she
that.
was obsessed with them, and also loved interjecting real life politics into her works. Also,
Hmm. Which is really weird because it's Star Wars and supposed to be a long time
yes,
ago.
and fucking science fiction stuff and all that.
Hmm.
Like, wait, why are they talking about gay marriage in a Star Wars book? What? I could rant about that bitch for hours. Like one of my favorite EU characters is Han and Leia's daughter Jaina Solo,
Mm-hmm.
because she's really, really strong Jedi and she's cool and stuff. And it pissed me the fuck off because I love the new Jedi Order, which was like Jaina was taking her place as like essentially she was gonna inherit Luke's position because she was the would become the strongest Jedi
Mm-hmm.
in her generation. So due to the fact that she was Leia's daughter, everyone was looking for her to be like the new leadership of the council kind of deal after they, blah blah blah. So, and especially when she became a war hero, everyone was like, "Well, yeah, she's definitely proven herself. Like she's fucking amazing." And then Karen Travis comes along writing one of her fucking Mandalorian wankbait novels where Jaina needs to save the day because that's what the overarching storyline wants. So Karen's like, okay, so if that's the case, she'll go train with the Mandalorians for a while. So this is after Jaina's fought in a war that lasted like 12 years and seen quadrillions of people dying, like the fucking planet load. She's killed more fucking people than cancer at this point. And a bunch of homo Mandalorians, because that was the book where she was pushing her weird gay marriage crap. They're all like, your privileged, dainty little hands have never experienced having to work and survive and do battle as a warrior. Your dainty and privileged hands have never dug a trench to prepare for battle. And the horrible thing is because again, it's he's the author, and she's writing Jane, and Jane is like, "Oh my God, they're right. I'm so dainty and privileged." And it's like, dude, she was under siege for like 6 months and had to eat fucking shoe leather. You're gonna give me this horse shit? Are you kidding me?
Oh. So it's like the Iron Man comic book where some guy was ranting about Iron Man's white privilege or something.
Essentially, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like, oh well, she's a nepotism child. She's the daughter of royalty because she's Han Solo's daughter and Leia Organa's daughter and Luke Skywalker's niece. She's so privileged and entitled and blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, she's fucking like again, she's killed more people than cancer. Like, what more do you need? He literally killed the strongest warrior that the Yuuzhan Vong had to offer at that point in single combat as a fucking 16-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what fucking more do you want? Jesus. And she's all like, well, no, you're privileged because you were born rich and your parents were politicians and stuff and blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, what? Her grandfather was Darth Vader. She's not privileged. She's fucking superhuman. Like,
Mm-hmm.
her great grandfather was the Force itself. So you're gonna have two fags come along and be like, your hands are dainty and privileged because they've never grasped a wiener. What the fuck? You hate to see it. Yeah, Kara Travis is just disgraceful. She should be destroyed.
I counted 74 last time, and now there's only 73. Why does she need to train with Mandalorians anyway if she's already a Jedi Master? Like, even on the surface level.
Yeah, you're completely correct. It is an extremely, extremely idiotic concept on its face because of exactly that kind of thing that you just said. It's like she has proven herself more times than anyone can count, and she's already one of the strongest warriors in the entire galaxy. The premise was that at this point in the story, the war that was being fought was the Second Galactic Civil War because her brother Jason decided to become the evil bad guy. So he became a Sith and a Darth. So just in general, this series is extremely poorly received because it didn't make any fucking sense at all and was just ham-fisted as fuck to begin with. So the
Mm-hmm.
premise was that in order to defeat her brother Jason, who's also her twin, so like they've had a really strong bond their whole lives,
Mm-hmm.
she needed to harden her heart even more than it already was hardened for some fucking stupid dumbass reason. So that's why she needed to talk to the most respected and brutal and vicious warriors in the entire galaxy, the Mandalorians, so they could teach her how to be a hard-hearted killer when she's already killed more fucking people than cancer. Like, what the fuck is even the idea
Mm-hmm.
here? Good lord. But
Martha.
definitely think it's wild though that even with everything that's happened, we're that close to fucking the second English Civil War happening before the second American Civil War. Even with everything that happened. Apparently, from reading this thing, there's a gym that we have to clean, but I'm like, where the fuck is it?
I'm in it. It's
Oh, how do you get there?
I use the big scaffolding to get up to the top, and then I just fell into it from the
Oh, okay.
roof. You come up to the roof, you'll be able to just fall right into it.
Okay, I'm on the roof right now. Oh, it's on the second floor. Okay.
Mhm.
And a fucking gnome is dead because no one fucking spotted him. Look at this shit. I can't believe. You won't believe. They said I wouldn't believe it.
That guy fell off, man. I think he just ran out
Big
of good
time.
ideas. Like, he barely uploads those skits anymore, and those are so good.
Well, I can tell you exactly why he fell off is because he was making all those moves to create a voice acting career for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he decided, hey, I know, I'll also interject dumbass leftist politics into this too, and that will help me to get work. And instead, it backfired tremendously, so he kind of accidentally destroyed his own community, in addition to detonating his reputation, and that kind of thing matters a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the work that he's doing, and he limited himself based off of his own fucking retarded politics, which is that he was like, hey guys, you know, you shouldn't do voices of people who are a different ethnicity than you. The people who do those voices should be the same ethnicity as the guy that they're doing the blah 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 for. But he, of course, didn't think that would apply to him. He thought it would only prevent white people from having to do any voices for any character that is anything besides white, which would increase work for him because he isn't white. So he'd be able to do white roles and voices, of course, but then whites wouldn't be able to do Asian voices, so he'd have more work available to him. Instead, what ended up happening is that studios actually listened to what he was saying and they said, okay, so from now on, Sungwon, you can only do the voice of Asian characters, and not just Asian characters, but specifically Korean descendant Asian characters. So he actually got booted off of a fucking role that he was going to do, that he was all set to do, because the producers were like, well, we don't feel comfortable having you do this anymore because the role that you're playing, the character is Japanese, not Korean.
Mm-hmm. Rip.
He took to Twitter and he bitched about it like crazy, and everyone was all like, hey, isn't this exactly what the fuck you fucking advocated for, you fat piece of shit? So then he blocked a shitload of people. He lost like a shitload of his followers in a single day, and then he just kind of stopped. He just, the new content basically just, in summation, he couldn't get out of his own way. He tried to use politics as a weapon to enrich himself, which inevitably ends up the same way it does for everybody who ever tries to do that. Especially race politics. I don't know what he was thinking. So yeah, that guy's entire life peaked when he got to play a bit part in a fucking God of War game.
Yeah. And being the worst part of that game.
Exactly. So yeah, congratulations, dude. You got everything you wanted. How about that? Be careful what you wish for. It bugs the crap out of me because one of my favorite voice actors is Phil Lamar, who's black.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, well, Phil Lamar should only do black roles. That's fucked up. Like,
Mm-hmm. I agree. Hold on 1 second. Be right back. All right. After we finish this map, I got to go eat, and then there's one map left for a little bit later, which is unfortunate because I don't think that map is going to be very big, but it is what it is. So let's wrap this up.
yeah, no problem. Because we're almost done here. But since I was just talking about him, one of my favorite roles that Phil Lamar ever did that he doesn't get to participate in anymore, according to Sungwon's fucking retarded ideas and the ideas that have taken root in animation now, is that Phil Lamar was the voice of Samurai Jack.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all like, according to your fucking retarded politics, he never would have been able to play Samurai Jack, which sucks because he was fucking great at it. Like, why would you take that away?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Team Fortress 2 character, the Demo Man, I'm a black Scottish Cyclops. Fucking hilarious. Great performance and all that. Well, you check. Who did he?
Here.
Yep, Gary Schwartz is a Jewish man who did that voice. And he did a great fucking job, but since he's not black, according to them, he wouldn't be able to. It's like the fucking Simpsons meme. It's Yeah, it's right here. You can see. I'll move the scaffolding to help.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like when they had the voice of Carl, uh, couldn't do it anymore because he wasn't actually black. So then they hire a black guy who sounds way fucking different and weird.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, I mean nobody really watches The Simpsons anymore, even. But like, it's a great example. Like, really,
Mm-hmm.
this is where we're at now, guys. Fuck.
Dang, we already got to 99%. That was like a quick 4%.
Did not take long. As I was listening to the Halo 2 soundtrack, like I mentioned the other day,
Mm-hmm.
it really breaks my heart that the Master Chief Collection's such a buggy, horrific piece of shit. Because I'm like, man, it'd be so awesome if we could co-op that again, but we can't because it's fucked, and they
Yep.
don't care because they put all their resources in Infinite, and then Infinite flopped like crazy, so they laid off like half the staff, and it just fucking sucks.
Well, we could play Halo 1 again. That one was fine. It was 2 and 3 that had issues.
Rear balcony door handle. Right there. Okay. Rear balcony barrier posts. Second floor barrier posts.
This frame right here.
Second floor is like the gym area, what they're trying to
Mm-hmm.
tell us.
I'm warning you right now, man. Keep screwing around and bad shit is gonna happen. Okay, there we go. Third floor ceiling light. There we go. Third floor window frame. Yeah. Yeah. Did you just call me an asshole?
A fun spider. Amzo, who told you to stop stalking with your 6 arms?
Alright. You're up on the second floor, right?
Yes, I'm on the second floor right now. I'm trying to find what the fuck. Second floor upper walls. What the hell is the upper wall? Oh, here it is. But now I need to find the. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Yep.
All right, we did it. So that's going to do it for this stream, guys. I will be coming back in a little bit to do the final map, which I think is actually going to be a quick one, so it'll be a short stream. And then I am still planning on doing Akira tonight. So, yeah, it's the fire plane. That's not going to take long at all. See you guys later.